Hi guys, and welcome to another video regarding twin flames. I'm Yvonne and I'm happy to have you. So today we will talk about how long does the separation phase last. So first of all, let's tell you, let's break it to you that there is no separation phase needed. It's not something there that needs to be there. Like I have clients that never went through a separation phase. That is also a reason why I'm making twin flame videos and why I'm talking to people about twin flames, even who don't know about it, because I do feel like that the awareness that twin flames exist does help when you enter a twin flame relationship. I didn't have that knowing at the time, and so I sometimes go like, what if I had known? What if I had known twin flames existed, twin flames was a thing, this is how it goes in a twin flame relationship, this is what will come up, this is what we will feel like, this is what you will, experience in a twin flame relationship. I feel knowing these things and being aware would help so much. So I'm sort of putting the word out there also for everyone who's yet to run into their twin, to meet their twin, to recognize him or her somewhere. So they can be aware and then go, okay, these are the tools, this is what happens, so let's apply this, and then we don't need to separate. And that's actually what I said, many of my clients are actually in the situation where they are entering it, realizing it's sort of hard, how do I navigate this, and then get help. And this then prevents them from having to separate. But don't despair if you're in the situation where you have separated, where you're oh my gosh, I totally know what Yvonne is saying. If I had known about twin flames when I was in that relationship, or if I only knew 10 years ago, no one talked about twin flames 10 years ago. If I only knew then what I know now, I would have behaved completely differently, or I would have done things differently. I wouldn't have broken up, I wouldn't have moved out, I wouldn't have. But don't be sad, because in truth there are no mistakes. If you were led to break up or to separate from your twin flame, that was for you then and there the most compassionate way, because the divine, the universe was okay, these two, they're just no, it's not really, they're meant to be, but they're both not healed yet. They're not, they haven't realized how great they are, so they're stuck in their ego patterns and in their fear patterns and in their blocks. So they sort of rip each other's head off every day. So that is not how it's supposed to be. It's better for them to each do their work in their own separate corner. I'm not going to separate them because I created them as a whole. Why would I separate them? No, that doesn't make sense. They're meant to be with each other, but for now they both need a good break from each other so they can both get to know themselves. So that's what your situation might be, right? That you're separated and that you regret having separated, and that you go over it in your head what you could have done differently, and how you could have done it differently, and why only did you do this, and why only did you say this, and why only did you tell her to move out, and why only did you break off the marriage plans you had, and whatever it is. Don't despair. It's all okay. It's all part of the bigger picture, of the bigger project, of the bigger thing you're going through, which is to be uniting and united with your twin eternally. And in order to get there, you first need to heal. So see it as just that. See the breakup phase, the separation phase, as an opportunity and a phase where you get to heal, where you get to focus on you and on you only, where you get to know yourself, where you get to look at your past, at your familial patterns, at your societal conditioning, at your psychological patterns, whatever it is, get to see it as exactly that, as an opportunity and as a moment of reflection, a moment of transformation, a moment of self-care and self-love, which is really the point of it all. So today's video is about how long does this whole thing last then? How long does the separation phase take? How long do I need to heal until we can please reunite? And you can tell by the way I'm saying this that you'll have to let that go at one point, where you wonder how long or how much longer or how long does this take, or how, like, if please tell me it's going to be, I don't even know, 5 months, and then I can, like, at least I can go out and have a good time in these 5 months, because after 5 months we're going to magically reunite and it's going to be all said and done. That's not how it goes. Even if I told you it was 5 years, you'd probably go, oh my gosh, that's way too long. No, I can't do that. That's too long. I need to get down to business and do things. I need to live life. Well, actually, being separated physically from your twin flame doesn't mean you're not living life. On the contrary, it's a good moment to fully dive into life and to fully experience life from a different point of view or a different level that you've never done. Get to know new things, new people, new hobbies, new things about yourself. Dive deep into the healing, as we said, and really get to know yourself. What is life about if not getting to know yourself and getting to know who you are? Discover what you are here for, what your purpose is on this planet, what you thrive at doing, what you're not doing because you feel held back or you feel you can't do it or you're not meant to do that or whatever it is. So this is the moment to go out and do it. So if we're getting back to the title of the video, which is like, how long does it take? How long will it last? Like, trust me, sometimes I do think, like, should I tell people it's going to be at least 2 months and who knows, maybe 12 years. It's going to be between 2 months and 12 years. But I wouldn't be genuine. I wouldn't be honest with you if I did that, because every story is unique, even though every story is the same in the sense of there's self-healing involved, one true love involved, reunion involved, like all this. Yes, it's always the same story, so sort of. Every story is unique. So, like, judging from the clients I'm helping, there's anything, like everything in there. There's people who never separated, as I said, even though they didn't know about twin flames, but they didn't have the need to separate. Like, God basically didn't separate them because it was like, okay, you can sort of do this, you know, being side by side. This is like the most compassionate way for you to do this. Then there's people who were with a false twin flame, or they thought it was the real deal. It wasn't. They became aware of it, and then they met the real one. And they also then didn't separate because in between they did a lot of self-healing. One case I have, this is like the most extreme, where I talked to a client, I think it's 3 times. I don't do that anymore, by the way. I only do midterm relationships. But at the time I did that. So basically the first session we had, it was about realizing, oh, that was a false twin you're talking about. Then it was about realizing what the blocks were regarding that. Like, we didn't know it was a false at the time, of course. It seemed like a real, which can, as you know, can shift. I don't know more than you know. I can tell by certain aspects that you share with me, but it's not on me to know. Like, whoever you go with at the time, there's learning there, there's healing there, there's lessons in there. If you actually grasp the opportunity for it to be lessons and not just run away and tell everyone he's a narcissist and that's his issue and you're gone, right? If you're actually open to seeing what it shows, what this relationship shows you yourself, like shows you about yourself, then this is a huge learning curve that can happen in there. So that was the first session. It was about the false twin that we didn't know was a false. Then the second session, all this is like months apart, is healing blocks around, you know, settling down, having a relationship, doing the real thing. And in the third session, it's basically, oh, so you met someone new. boom, okay, that is actually your twin flame. Like they tick every box. They're like the perfect man. That's everything you ever wished for and longed for. And they sort of went on to live happily ever after. So there was not really a separation phase, right? There wasn't really any of that. So there's other clients who separated for a few months. There's others who separated for a few years. There's others who have been separated for 20 years, but they never really consciously chose to reunite or to do inner work. They married someone else. They tried to push it away. They tried to move on. So all that doesn't really count. I mean, it counts, but it's not doing everything you can in your power to like sort of accelerate the self-healing process. Not accelerate, that sounds as if you wanted to go against like the divine pace or something, but it's not doing everything in your power to live your truth, which is, okay, I'm one with this one person, right? So it doesn't really count, but yet the separation phase lasts 20 years, sometimes maybe 30 years, because they used to be together as kids or as teenagers. Then they broke up, and at 6 years old, they still think of that person. They're still like, I think he's the one. So you can tell there's really no way of telling there's anything is possible. What I do know is that there's a good portion of the whole thing in your hands. Like you can influence your journey because you can like choose to heal. You can choose to really go for it and to really like look at things that are brought up. Like you can choose your one true love. You can be okay with not being with someone for a certain time, to not have anyone by your side, to go to family dinners, to go to the movies, to go whatever it is you like doing. To do this by yourself, because you're like, I want to be honest and truthful to the love I feel. I can't pretend to be with someone just for the sake of being distracted from the heartache, from missing the other person, from distracting yourself from being with yourself. You're like, let me quickly be with someone so I can forget like what it feels like to be just with me and the divine. So then of course you sort of put off the healing process, that and you're like given, you're like dealt a card of decks, a deck of cards, which is like, oh, this is the hand you're dealt, deal with it. And you're like, well, I'm gonna put it over here, and I'm gonna, you know, have a beer over here because I don't really want to look at the cards right now. So that is on you to choose to do that. Or you can go, hey, give me the cards, I want to see what it is, I really want to do everything that is dealt to me. You know, I want to look at things, I want to learn, I want to heal, I want to become aware, I really want to do this. So then of course you're doing everything in your power, and the whole when will you reunite and how will you reunite, that's completely out of your hands. That's just, you just surrender that. You just give that to someone else, and you're just like, hey, I'm living my best life right now with myself, with my connection to the universe. This feels damn good. I couldn't be worried what's going to happen next, because I just trust it's going to be better and better and better, because that's what I see has been happening so far as I focused on myself, as I focused on healing. So yes, as I said, there's really no way to tell, but there is a way to tell if you're like going all in and you're doing the work and you're like, yes, let me do this. I can't stand living a lie and pretending to be something I'm not, or to be with someone I'm not in love with. I can't do that anymore. I did that for long enough, and now I'm ready to claim my one true love and to be with them and to choose to be with them. So that is like putting on the booster on your journey, which is like, yep, it's gonna move forward from here, and it's gonna feel nicer and nicer and nicer. So if I'm allowed to help you with that, reach out. I'll be happy to work with you, be happy to support you, to give you the tools I have, to give you the insights I have, the experience, pass that on to you, so you can feel better and better too, and do the steps, take the steps necessary or that are presenting themselves on your journey next. So thank you for watching. Love you all. Thanks for being here, and have a great whatever it is. Bye guys.